Hey everybody, this is Javi, and you're watching the Bowtie Psychic here on YouTube. I am a psychic and intuitive medium who focuses on divination and storytelling to promote healing from generational trauma. And this month, for the month of August, um, because Spirit said that I'm to do this, I'm actually doing readings for each zodiac sign, and we're going to be focusing on love. And tonight, I am focusing on Capricorn. Doesn't matter where you fall, whether it be the moon sign, sun sign, adjacent, Venus, and so I got a lot of downloads about love and our interpretation of what love is. And so what I got from Spirit Capricorns, and uh, I am a Capricorn rising, so I definitely get this is resonating with me as well. I'm getting that a lot of us are needing to have needing, quote unquote needing, because that's lack language. We are needing to have control over the situation. When it comes to love, we have we have our own vision of what love looks like. We have our own interpretation of what love is, and it's something that we have a hard time letting go of. And so when we fall for somebody and they are not the idea that we had in our mind, we have the tendency to become very upset about it. And so Capricorns are really known for having order. We thrive on order. We thrive on, we're Earth sign that thrives on order. And so when we do not see um, certain things that go our way, we have the tendency to give up on it, become upset, become very embittered as a result. And so, what I'm getting for Capricorns is to settle down into not rush into anything, to basically dismantle the idea of love that we have, because love is very multifaceted. Love is very fluid, and so when we have this rigid idea of what love is, um, even now I have like the stiffness of my neck. So that tells me right there that there's like we have tunnel vision. We have tunnel vision when it comes to certain ideas. And also we're very stiff, which my shoulders are stiff, my neck is stiff. Basically, that tells me that we have a hard time moving away from certain ideas when it comes to love. We just have a certain vision. We have a certain vision of what it looks like, and I just feel this for a lot of people. Um, I feel a lot of this for everyone, male, men, women, gender non-conforming individuals, regardless of whether they're gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, whatever. I'm feeling like there is this idea, and we have a hard time breaking away from it. In fact, I'm feeling that it's just for Capricorns, it's just really really hard, extremely hard, to let go of our vision. I'm getting at the month of autumn, or I'm sorry, the autumn season. It's gonna be really hard for a lot of us because the summer that summer energy um, is very much over with, and we are looking for someone who is very we have a tendency to look for for someone who's very mature, very not exactly rigid, but very um, goal oriented, very ambitious. We're looking for someone who is very who really has their nose on the grindstone, their eyes on the prize. They're about their career. They're about money. They're about you know just like this ambitious energy. And so you're going to be running into a lot of people who may not have that same energy as you do. And you take yourself a lot seriously. I take myself seriously. A lot of Capricorns do. A lot of Capricorns they take life very seriously to the point where it's really hard. Y'all, a lot of y'all have that old man energy, old woman energy, um, like what is considered old man, old woman energy. Like you are, a lot of us are very wise beyond our years. A lot of us, we are looking for a partner who has that. that old soul sort of thing. And so you're not going to find a lot of that. So just be aware that you are being asked, Capricorns, we are being asked to broaden our horizons and open up our possibilities, and not have this rigid, very black and white idea of what love is, because that's going to bite us in the ass. To be honest with you, that's going to bite us in the ass eventually, especially when a lot of us have been through a lot of relationships with people, and they have not worked. They've failed over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And as a result of that, you want something different. You're looking for something different. You're craving for something different. And you. This is the time for us to actually, don't be surprised, Capricorn, if you end up being single for a extended period of time, because you are being asked um, in this season to basically start looking at yourself and your ideas of love, starting to like definitely look within the self, because you are being asked to examine a lot of what you're basically being asked to examine a lot of your ideologies around love and romance, and make sure that they're not coming from an unrealistic place. Um, I'm also getting to Capricorn that, yeah, this is pretty much the time for you to take advantage of that Pluto energy. The Pluto energy is going to be working for you, because I don't know if people have like forgotten, but um, there's a lot of more retrogrades happening. Pluto, excuse me, is being one of them. Pluto, as you know, is a ninth planet. Is basically like the it's like a cross between the tower and the devil. If you could compare it to two um, tarot cards, those are the two that come to mind. Um, when as Mercury is when Mercury's in retrograde, it has a tendency to you know cause chaos, or cause chaos, especially external chaos. Um, and it can like rile up your emotions, but it really doesn't prompt you to look within yourself. Pluto, when it's in retrograde, it calls you to look within yourself, to look and examine your shadows, examine your ideologies, to examine whatever addictions you have. Basically, it is the shadow work plan. And so, as a result of this season, you are being asked, Capricorn, to look within yourself, to do your shadow work, especially when it comes to love, because you will start to realize how your behavior affects other people, how your behavior and your ideologies affect how people see you, how people perceive you in a relationship. You start to ask yourself, um, especially if you've been in a relationship that has not been a bunch of relationships that have not worked in your favor in some way, shape, or form. This is the season, the autumn season that with the Pluto retrograde. This is the time for you to ask yourself, basically, what am I doing? What have I not healed from that makes me single, or makes me not get along with the people that I'm with? It's not just, romantic relationships, it's also platonic relationships as well. Because again, there are many types of love, many, many types of love. Romantic love is just what we're just focusing on. And so you're being asked to look within yourself. How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about romance? What does it look like to you? Why are you so obsessed over it? Because there's a lot of y'all that are very obsessed over this notion of a relationship and the ideal partner, and what that ideal partner looks like. This is a time for you to ask yourself why and what is it about a romance and about being in a relationship that is so appealing to you. Like If it's unrealistic, it's time for you to examine that. Write down what you come up with, meditate, on that, and think about exactly what you are, um, what's going on in your mind. Because I'm just getting that, with the new moon energy coming through, pretty soon. I'm going to say tomorrow on the 15th. This is literally the time for you to start letting go of anything and everything, that is, um, preventing you from getting the relationships that you desire and what you deserve. So that's what I'm getting for that, as far as a, intuitive message from spirit, in regards to this. And so before I get started with cards, because I'm going to be pulling cards um, for Capricorn. If this resonates with you in any way, shape, or form, this video, excuse me, I'm dropping cards here. If this resonates with you in any way, shape, or form, by all means, subscribe to the channel. You can also, share this video on your pages, on your, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, if that's possible. You can also like and comment. If this resonates with you, like, the more people see this video and more people like the channel or subscribe to it, the more messages, people will receive, and now it will be like, that's what I'm doing this for. That's what I'm doing this for. So yes, please share and subscribe. And also, if you want a, more in-depth reading, more personal reading, you can go to, thebowtiepsychic.com and schedule an appointment. So there are many appointments types that you can, you know, um, look into. Also, I want to give myself a moment to talk about my cat, Tobias. He's sick, and so I'm doing like a short campaign right now. If you, are interested, I am actually doing 30-minute readings for $20. So, and all the proceeds would go to his medical expenses. My little guy is blocked, and I am doing all I can to make sure that he gets to the vet and he is actually paid for, and I don't have to go through the whole rigmarole um, of not being able to take him to the vet, and having to make that decision. So any little bit helps, it was definitely appreciated. But again, $20 for a 30-minute reading is not bad. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Spirit what messages they have for the collective, as far the Capricorns rather, pertaining to love. Dear High Spirit, what words of wisdom do you have for Capricorn? For those born in the Capricorn sign, in regards to love. All right, so what I got here, at least of the three cards here anyway, is the return of Aphrodite. And I'm using the Oracle of the Mermaid deck. So that's why the cards are kind of different. I used these last night too. So basically, the little words here says temple, birth of the goddess, guidance, goddess energy, treating as sacred. What I'm getting from this card straight away is that a lot of y'all, a lot of us Capricorns, are to learn how to love ourselves. We are to learn how to love ourselves and learn to embrace our divine energy and our divine power. This especially goes to those who may have water signs in their charts as well, and those who are very vulnerable when it comes to love and want to, those who have that passionate, loving, and lustful energy. You're being asked to basically embrace yourself, love yourself before you end up being, in the situation where you're going to end up being with somebody um, who is not a good match for you. As far as Capricorns, I'm getting like as far as your match, I'm definitely getting someone like an air sign, someone who is um, so I'm getting like either a Gemini um, or an Aquarius, someone who is going to show you how to have fun and show you how that you're not to take life seriously. So this is what you're getting right here. That's what the energy that I'm getting from this card right here. You are literally being called to love yourself, love your energy, love your own kindness, pour love into yourself, find out who you are and what you are looking for as well. Because it's one thing to be in a relationship, is another to know exactly what type of partner you are looking for, but being realistic about it. And so when you are able to look into the mirror and basically look at your own flaws and see yourself in a realistic fashion, because there's a lot of Capricorns. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't want to, who are not comfortable. I should say want to cancel and do one. They are not comfortable in looking in their own, looking in the mirror and looking at their own flaws and embracing their own flaws. Capricorns are no different. We, I'm getting that the majority of us do not like to see our mistakes, and so we are very quick to point out someone else's mistakes. But if we look at ourselves, if we look at our own flaws, our own mishaps, our own mistakes, and own up to our own darkness and own up to our own shadow behaviors, then we are more likely to do that for someone else. So this is where what the Aphrodite card is saying. When you center yourself and you start to basically embrace all that you encompass, you're able to do that for someone else. You're not putting them on a high pedestal. You're not putting like a bunch of expectations on that person. You're not putting high expectations on yourself. You're not asking someone to be perfect. There is no such thing as being perfect, Capricorn. There's no such thing as being that at all. You're literally putting yourself in harm's way, and you're going to be putting yourself in a position of losing that person and losing that relationship if you basically continue on the path that you are, as far as not allowing that person to make a mistake without you making some sort of judgment. So you are being asked straight up and flat out to start looking at yourself and not denying your flaws, not denying not denying your darkness, and you will be able to see that in someone else. So another card you receive as far as the Oracle deck here is like Sanctuary, and the Sanctuary card here is privacy, inviolate personal space, respected boundaries and taboos. You're being told to basically enjoy your alone time. Excuse me, enjoy your alone time. Don't be so quick to just fall for anybody and be with anyone simply because you are craving that companionship. Again, you are to check your intentions. As I speaking of intentions, you are to check your intentions as to why you are wanting to be in a relationship, or having that. Why do you possess that desire to be in a relationship to the point of almost settling? And this is the time for you again to do that shadow work around Pluto retrograde energy. Use that energy and use this time to start uh, really examining what 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 is this about a relationship that is very appealing to you. Because what ends up happening is that when we don't have standards, we'll fall for anything. And when we fall for anything, we're setting ourselves up to be hurt. We're setting ourselves up for a lot of drama that doesn't need to be. So this is literally the time for you to like sit back, enjoy your own company, um, be mindful of what makes you tick. Start to get to know yourself first. Start to love your own company, your own solitude first, because once that person comes through, um, and they're not there because it's not healthy to have someone in your face 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not even realistic, let alone healthy. So what you're being asked to do, a Capricorn, is to basically start loving your solitude, and loving your alone time. Because when that person is not around, you're not going to start wigging out. I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to get nervous or anxious, and you're not going to have this thought that they're playing you or they're doing something they're not supposed to. Because when you're secure within yourself, you can be alone. When you're secure within yourself and you are comfortable in your own skin, you do not require that other person to be in your face, to basically stroke your ego or to uh, make sure that you or stroke your self-esteem or to make sure your self-esteem is on the up and up. Being in a relationship is about give and take. It's about energy exchange. It's about reciprocity. And when your energy is off and your energy is staticky, the other person, especially if they're an empath, they're going to feel that energy, and they're not going to be around it. They're not going to be. They're not going to want to be around it. They're not going to crave your energy. Um, and this is another thing too. Do not resort to emotional manipulation or any sort of manipulation to get that person to stay with you. When you are craving that sort of attention, the relationship is bound to fail. So you might. This is one of the reasons you're being asked to, stay alone for a little bit if need be, and don't be in the relationship. Um, yeah, like I'm also getting like this feeling in my jaw. A lot of you are not telling the truth. I'm getting that a, a, um, a lot of you are not speaking your truth. A lot of Capricorns are not speaking their truth. Is to the point where their jaws are your jaws are so locked up and locked down that your jaws are starting to hurt. So this is literally time for one to exercise your jaw, but the secondly, start or just telling your truth. Start running your mouth. If you are hurting about something, say something. If you are angry um, or needing to speak your truth, please do that, because if not, it's going to manifest into anger. It's going to manifest into something physical, such as a hurt jaw or a heart issue. You know, a lot of people feel that, or yeah, a lot of people think that heart disease is a silent killer, but what also causes heart disease is hurt emotions, unspoken emotions. That's your heart chakra. Is I'm feeling it right now. A lot of people, who are born under the Capricorn sign, they're walking around hurting because they have not spoken up. A lot of things have happened. And a lot of things have happened, myself included. A lot of things have happened and because you don't know how to, convey your emotions in a verbal manner, you have a tendency to internalize a lot of the negativity that is being hurled at you. And so, if you're in a relationship, that cannot continue. I'm going to be honest with you, Capricorn. A lot of that cannot continue because the moment you don't start talking, the moment you just clam up, okay? Because remember, your control is like you want order. Cancel, delete one. You crave order. You crave order. You crave order. You have a certain way of looking at the world. You're very ambitious. You're also a lot of you are also non-confrontational. And so when you don't like conflict, you have the tendency to shut down. I'm getting that there's a lot of people, a lot of Capricorns. I'm feeling that a lot of you have the tendency to shut down when there's a conflict. And so when you're in a relationship and there's a conflict, and y'all start to argue, it's not healthy for you to shut down. It's not healthy for you to give that person so much power to the point where everything you're feeling is going to manifest into a health problem along the road. Along the road. Even now, I'm having a hard time speaking. You have the tendency to basically clam up, especially around people who have a stronger energy than you. So just be aware when you're around a lot of fire signs as well. If you're dating a fire sign, just be aware that you are to buck up and allow your and not to let the fire sign get the best of you, because the moment they do that, you shut down. There's going to be a built up resentment. So basically, that's why you're being told to enjoy your alone time and basically use this time to do some inner reflection about your temperament and your threshold and what you are willing to put up with when you are in a relationship. Because it's going to be a conflict, whether you like it or not. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. You and your significant other, or a few significant others, if you are in a polyamorous relationship or open relationship, y'all ain't gonna get along a lot. Y'all not gonna get along every day. Y'all gonna argue every once in a while. There's going to be some sort of disagreement. So instead of internalizing what is going on and have it manifest into something that's extremely uncomfortable or deadly in the long run, this is a time for you to basically speak up. By the time you're in a relationship, you will be able to speak up, but also not be afraid of putting that person in check when they do wrong. You understand? That's what I'm hoping y'all do that. Then y'all have the vulnerability card. Vulnerability card. Open your heart, allow yourself to be tender. What I'm getting from this card right away is that a lot of Capricorns don't like to speak up. We just talked about that. A lot of Capricorns have an issue with vulnerability because we have a hard time displaying emotion, and I put myself in that category. We have a hard time displaying emotion, expressing emotion. We have a hard, unless we're in an extremely good mood, we have a hard time of letting someone know how we feel. I'm just feeling like a block. Like even around the heart chakra, there's a block. Okay, it's because for one, a lot of Capricorns do not like losing power, and being vulnerable means like giving up the power of control. Secondly, a lot of us have been hurt in the past, and there was a time when we were vulnerable, but someone took advantage of that vulnerability, and we don't want to be a punk right now. So that's basically what I'm getting from that card as well. But in order for you to be in a long-lasting, healthy, long-term relationship, Capricorn, you are to be vulnerable. You cannot shut your spouse out. You can't shut out the person you're dating because of some bullshit that happened in the past. The people who took advantage of your vulnerability were not ready for their vulnerability. They were not able to be vulnerable themselves. In fact, they were not ready for someone like you. So basically, do not, or what I'm saying is do not allow someone else to be punished for someone. Let me say this one more time. That didn't sound right. Do not punish someone else. There you go. Do not punish someone else, or the person you're with, the person you have a desire to be with. Don't punish them for someone else's fuck up. Don't punish them for someone else's stuff, because that person, like I said, they were not ready for you. And also, I'm just getting like to don't carry so much in your body. You carry a lot of stress in your body, Capricorn. I can feel it. I'm even when I was going throughout this entire reading, I just felt like this is stiffness. And it's not because you're arthritic. It's not because you have fibromyalgia or anything like that, even though that could be the case for some of y'all. I'm not denying that at all. But there's a lot of emotion that you're holding in because of that lack of vulnerability. It's going to run into a health issue if y'all don't stop. It's going to run into a health issue if you are not careful about, letting that stuff out, or you know what I mean. If you need to stretch a little bit, exercise a little bit, go ahead and do that. If you need to walk around the block If you need to do meditation, talk to a friend, do something. You don't have to put your business on blast, but you definitely, when the time comes, you are to talk about your vulnerabilities and what's going on with you. Because, as I said before, when you are in a relationship with someone and you're not vulnerable, it's not going to work for you in the long run. It's not going to work for you in the long run if you're single. Even when you're single, because by the end of the day, you are going to end up hurting yourself, physically hurting yourself, psychologically hurting yourself. A lot of the stress you put in your body is the result of you being afraid of being vulnerable. I I would be sitting here lying to you if I told you that I did not go through the same thing at times. There are many times, and I'm getting better at it myself, but there are many times when, I don't like conflict. My body freezes up. My body feels as if, is in danger or something of that nature. Or I confront someone that has done me wrong. I confront someone that I've done wrong. And my body feels it. It's as if it goes into like a flight mode or a fright mode or a freeze mode. Um, and my body holds on to a lot of that tension. Okay. That happens when, it definitely happens for people who have been traumatized in the past, have been abused, sexually abused, physically abused, possibly bullied, um, in fact, bullied in general. And a lot of that stuff comes with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and anxiety. A lot of the stuff that we hold in our body that's a past response. Our bodies are responding to something that reminded us of our past in some way, shape, or form. So when you learn that, when you understand that, you're able to check. You're able to be vulnerable with other people. In fact, let me back up a little bit. When was the last time you were ever vulnerable with yourself? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said that you were deserving and that you loved yourself? When was the last time you actually did something nice for yourself? When was the last time you did something um, I'm sorry, I'm watching my cat here. When was the last time you actually uh, did something to pour love into yourself? When was the last time you said something nice to yourself? When was the last time you actually looked in the mirror or looked at your ancestors and began to actually start talking to the point of crying and not editing? When was the last time you did that? What was the last time you showed? I guess my question is, what was the last time you showed up for yourself to become vulnerable? If you cannot answer that question in any way, shape, or form, that tells me that you are not ready to be vulnerable with someone else. In fact, you're not ready to be be ready in a romantic relationship or bring someone else into your life on that level. If you cannot be vulnerable with yourself and show up for yourself, let's say that you are deserving of love and kindness, because that's what vulnerability is. Vulnerability is love. Vulnerability is a form of trust. If you cannot trust yourself, then how are you able to trust someone else on a level that involves like a long-term relationship? And I'm asking you this, Capricorn, because I'm getting that a lot of you are looking for that special someone, that one and only, or a few people that you can share a whole life with. But there's that lack of vulnerability in that desire, um, and that inner requirement you have to control the situation and control the narrative. And to be, I'm just hearing that's not healthy. That's not healthy. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for the person um, that you are supposed to be with. Yeah, I'm getting that a lot of y'all are. For some reason, I'm getting Can't Hardly Wait. That movie can't hardly wait with Ethan Embry and Jennifer Love Hewitt. You know, um, like I'm hearing like there's someone for everybody. So then I got fertility, potential, powerful, creative energy, initiation energy. I'm getting to, with this card. I'm getting to basically to have standards. To have standards. So it's okay to have standards. Uh, it's okay for you to slow down and to take your time. It's okay for you to, when the time does come and you're healed enough, it's okay for you to just have fun and date around. It's okay for you to do that. You do not have to settle down and be with someone right away. It's okay for you to, you know, be in, one night stands, but it's okay for you to have. And I'm saying when you've healed enough, it's okay for you to, not be in love right away. It's not okay for you to like settle down when you know full well you're not ready for that yet. When I'm getting that when you're healed enough, that's when um, you can start having fun. This is when you can start going to you know certain parties and just going around dating people. You know, I'm getting sex. Like it's okay for you it'll be okay for you to have sex with someone and be okay with that without having any sort of expectation. Um, because, like I said, love comes in many different um, different forms, and being put and being monogamous doesn't have to be one of those. So I'm just getting that once you are healed and once you're able to be vulnerable and once you're able to do all that, you'll be able to not be so rigid and not be so. I'm just getting that your perception of what a relationship is will change, or whatever what you think a relationship is will definitely change, and it won't be so rigid. So some of y'all may have cards. Some of y'all doing too much. I'm getting to that. Some of y'all are doing too much with your hands. I'm getting like my wrists. My wrists are hurting. That means somebody's dealing with carpal tunnel. Someone is dealing with carpal tunnel. My wrists were not hurting like this until this reading. So, um, and I myself, I'm gonna lie, I myself have carpal tunnel, but it really wasn't flaring up, and now it's flaring up. So I'm being told, and whoever is out here with carpal tunnel, besides myself, um, get that checked out. See what the one card here. Yes. What was we have a Capricorn in regards to love? I've got two cards here. Oh wow. Yeah, so I got the knowledge card right here. I'm getting straight up and flat out. Capricorn, know yourself. This is a time for you to get to know yourself. This is a time for you to get to know yourself, know what ticks, what your likes and dislikes are. Get to know yourself first, because I'm getting that it's the lack of self the lack of self-knowledge, of lack of self, or the lack of self knowledge, I guess is a better way to put it. Um, is the self knowledge or the knowledge of self is not solid yet for a lot of y'all. It's not solid yet for y'all to be in a relationship like this. The relationship type of relationship that you're looking for is not there yet. It's time for you to do some inner reflection, a lot of healing, a lot of letting go, a lot of peeling of the spirit and the heart, is just a lot of letting go and peeling back the layers of what is preventing you from being in a relationship to begin with. It's just not there yet. And so what you're getting from this card right here, the knowledge card, is that once you get to know yourself, once you get to, it does not surprise me either that there's a lot of green here, a lot of grounding, a lot of, a lot of, a lot of red and brown. Basically, those are colors, or at least a lot of brown anyway. Those are very grounding colors. And so this is definitely a Capricorn card, or Earth card right here. So just be aware of what you're being called to do. You're being called to ground. You're being called to come back to the center. You're being called to love yourself, to come back to your spiritual power, because there's a lot of y'all who allow relationships to take away a lot of your spiritual power. And so you're being called to come back to your magic self. Come back to your magical self. Love your magical self. You're being called to basically come back and love your inner bruja, your inner brujo, your basically your inner divinity. Just rediscover your inner divinity and let everything else take care of itself. Let everything take care of itself. Okay? You also have the 8 of water, and this is actually upside down. You're just, what this card is basically saying is that until you get to know yourself, once you get to know yourself, once you get to start doing the work necessary, you'll know that there's parts of you that are not at peace. There are parts of you that are not healed. And you're going to realize that that's okay. And you're going to realize that it's okay for you to do the work. The work, there's so much work to do. So much work to do. So much work to do before you end up, getting in a relationship with anybody. Just be aware of that. Like, I'm just getting straight up from the card along like this. The moral of the story is that you are to know thyself before you get into any sort of romantic relationship. Once you start to know yourself, you'll start to discover why you're so rigid, why you have so many ideas, certain ideas around relationships, where those ideas came from. You'll start to recognize, some of your own flaws, and how some of your flawed thinking and ideologies actually prevented you from being with someone. And once you start to become vulnerable with yourself, you'll be vulnerable with other people. And that all that rigidity around sex and love, it will start to fall away. And then whatever, and before you start to, even think about settling down, you will have, you'll start to redefine for yourself what a relationship is, what sex is for you. You'll become more creative when it comes to that part of your life. You'll become more free and more creative when it comes to what you enjoy in bed, what you enjoy when you're on a date. This is basically about you redefining who you are, so you can be. So when you do become a part of a unit, you know, you'll have realistic expectations. You'll be like there'll be a sense of strength and realism, and you will not be afraid to be vulnerable with your significant other or significant others if you're in a poly relationship. So that's all I have for Capricorn. Thank you so much for watching the video. If that resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, by all means, let me know. Subscribe to the channel, like, share, you know, make a comment, reach out to me in any way, shape, or form. If you need any clarification, by all means, reach out to me or whatnot. If you're looking for a more in-depth reading, you can contact me um, or go to um, thebowtiepsychic.com and choose your appointment type, and we'll go from there. So you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm no longer on Twitter because Twitter is a lot. But you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm always posting on either one or the other. So yeah, that's just how it is. And again, I am doing $20 or 30-minute readings for $20. So all the proceeds will go to my cat, Tobias McCoy. And so again, thank you so much for witnessing me. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.